I'm just going to stand here and wait for the... Oh, look. Oh. A thing is loading. A thing is loading. Oh, my face is there. Yay, I am streaming now. Okay. Main scene with face. There we go. Hello, I am Mark Aldrich. I have a YouTube channel where I try and make videos of myself doing game development and little maker projects. I got my workshop over there. It's very cluttered right now. I have a bit of a problem, which is I always forget to record anything I'm doing. So I figure I'm going to try out streaming just to, see how it goes. And hopefully I will have stuff recorded that I can then use to make YouTube videos and stuff. Yeah, so I have no idea what I'm doing right now. This is just a test stream to see how long I can do it and to see what I can actually make. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm doing so far. We're just gonna get rid of the README and get rid of the... Why did that turn into a capital S? Rename. Get the input put in there. I'm probably going to replace that at some point. Yeah, I don't know what kind of game I want to make because I kind of just charged into this head first. Yeah, update the input system. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. I should probably change the loading settings. If I am going to stream regularly, there's going to be a lot of time where I'm just going to sit here and stare at the screen while stuff loads. But yeah. Did that just up? Oh, nope, never mind. I was like, wow, did Unity just load something immediately and not have like a 5-minute wait? No. Can't do that. Can't have that. I wanted... What did I want to add in here? Where is Cinemachine? Because I have been learning how to use that to make a bit smoother camera movements. And yeah, that'll be... That'll be useful. So let's see. What does a game need? 3D game, so we're going to need a ground for stuff to stand on. So we're just going to add a plane. Yeah, we'll do like... big plane. I think I also have some standard assets here that I can install to just make it look a little nicer. Let's see. Do I have it already set here or... No, I don't want any outline stuff. Starter assets, third person, no. Probably should have set up all this stuff ahead of time, but you know what? That's okay. We're just gonna... No, we're not gonna load 25. Let's load all. Hold on. Terrain. Terrain sample assets. Yes. I think I already have that downloaded, so the asset has, you know what? Yeah, okay, we'll install those. Let it take its time. So my thought for a first project is just going to be one of those ones where, like, you have a top-down view of a character, it moves around, and enemies move toward it, and you shoot at the enemies to make them go away. Um, yeah, nothing too complicated. Something I can get done in a couple hours. Okay, now I know. I should probably get whatever project I want to do up and running before I start the stream, so I have all the materials ready. But, you know. All right, I think it's almost done. Nope. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We're almost there. You know what? We're just going to import all of it. So if I decide to change over to terrain instead of just a flat shape, I will already have the materials here. I think this is it. I think this is the end of it. There we go. I'm just going to create a folder for imported assets, HDRP default resources. All right, we're going to put that in settings. And the terrain sample assets, put that in imported. Get it all sorted out. Okay, now we're gonna start this out first by grabbing one of our... Okay, that's not gonna be tenable. Materials, settings. Oh, textures, here we go. Nope, that's not what we want. Terrain, here we go. All right, that is there. It doesn't look great, so I think I'm going to make a separate material for it. We're just going to call this ground material. And the base map. Okay, we have our grounds. Let's add tiling to it. A little bit better. Okay, now we need a thing. That thing is going to be our character. Create an empty game object. We're going to call that Playuyurt. Yep. By the way, sometimes I have issues typing, so yeah, that's going to be a thing. Reset that to 0. We're going to add a... we'll add a sphere tool. Make the player a sphere. And set the position Y to 0.5, so we're just off the ground. Remove the sphere collider from that because we don't want that on there. We want that on here. Up so that matches where the player would be. Yep. Okay, there we go. There's our character. That's our player. I am terrible at art. Art is my single biggest weakness when it comes to game development. So be prepared for beans and squares and circles and cubes and other shapes for all of the characters. Let's get Cinemachine added in here. Cinemachine. I need to remember how to do this because I have done this for previous projects. I have not done it. You know what? We're going to do that afterwards. Yeah, let's just get movement going. We're just going to do very basic movement, left, right, forward, back to start. Trust and open. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Yes. Okay. So, how do I want to handle movement? Yeah. We're just gonna add the input action directly in through the inspector. And then in on enable, we're going to enable it. Let's see if I can remember. See, I always have an issue at the very start of a project where the basic stuff is just like, oh, how do I do that again? And then I end up going back to a previous project. But I'm going to try to not do that here. I'm going to try not to. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be better. We're going to do it the good way. Before we add anything else there. VS Code is deprecated. The package is not supported anymore. Oh, yeah, right. I have to get rid of that. This will reload. Visual Studio Code is no longer supported. Right. Right. Why is it included? Remove. Yeah, I've heard good things about code. I have only used the standard Visual Studio, and then once I found out about Rider, I switched over to that. Had a paid program for that for a couple of years, and I'm very happy that they have it free now. Okay, so movement action. You can see that it is now here in the inspector. So I can just add a binding to it. Hold on, can I change the specific details for it? Yes, I can. It is a value. Up, down, left, right. Up, listen, is W. Down is S. Left is A. Right is D. Okay, so we have our movements directions, up, down, left, and right. So I think we can just read that now. Movement action dot. Let's see, what do we have available here? Read value, vector 2, we're going to save that. So, okay, so we have our movement data. Up, down, left, and right. So now we're just going to dot translate. Translation is going to be our movement times time delta time. Yeah, simple. What I should do is I should move this all out of here to an event where the event is called whenever... I should move all of this out to a system where it only calls it on an event rather than on in the update loop, so it doesn't like... So when your character is just standing still, it's like, okay, I am moving 0 spaces forward. I am moving 0 spaces left, 0 right, 0 back. And it just stands there, and it just does the movement times time delta time every single frame without doing anything. It's not an expensive operation, so it's fine doing it here, but it's just not the best way to handle things. Yeah, and I'm also gonna cache we're gonna cache this above it. A speed times time delta time times speed. Okay, reorder the multiplication so we're not multiplying a vector 2 twice in a row. All right. So we should reload the domain 6 times over. Oh, my speed is set to 0. Let's set it to 1. Whoop, 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 whoop. Nope, nope, nope. That is wrong. That is wrong. Oh, we've fallen into the ground. We have risen into the air. We are flying. We are going in the wrong directions. This is not right. Okay, so 1, we're going to set our speed to like 3 so that we have some actual movement going on here. Yeah, that was incorrect. So I'm going to cache a vector 3 that we're going to call movement. And we're going to rename this to movement input. The microphone is in the way of my face, so it's hard for me to read. Also, I am dealing with a cold right now, so please don't mind me if I cough like crazy off to the side. Okay, so dot x equals movement input dot x times speed times time dot delta time. Okay, movement y equals 0 because we are not moving up and down. We are moving forward, back, left, and right. Okay, goody, goody, goody gumdrops. Get rid of that. And movement z equals, yeah, all that. Okay. And I want to get rid of those 3 little lines there, so make that private. It's already private. It's just explicitly private now. Save all that. Get out of there. Do we move? Do we have motion? Do we have correct motion? Okay, here's the camera. So we're going to put the camera there. Left, right, forward, back. Yay! Camera works now. Okay, goody, 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 goody. Now, I need to add camera tracking. I don't want the camera to track perfectly with it because that can be really jarring. If you're object motion is if the movement of the player and the movement of the camera match perfectly, then the player is always going to be dead center on the screen. There's going to be no jitter there, but the environment around it will. So yeah, we need to fix that. I could probably use a character controller to make it a lot more smooth, but this is just a basic first time project just to get started. So in streaming, yeah. So okay, I need to add a on the player. We're gonna add a okay. Never mind. Never mind. Hold on. Cinemachine camera. Okay. Oh, we already have the Cinemachine brain on here. Good. Okay. Tracking target is going to be the player. Position. Follow. Cinemachine follow. Let's see, that's going to be 0. That's going to be 10. Follow. Spline dolly, hard lock, third person follow. Hard look at. Okay, hold on. Let's see how that looks. That is not what we wanted. Okay, that is not good. That's not... I don't use Cinemachine that often, so this is gonna be a little bit iffy. Okay, so at least follows the character. So I just rotate it to face it. Oh, you can't change that. Okay, so we need to... We're not going to rotate with the target. No, none of that. Now can I rotate it? Yes, I can. Okay. 0. We're going to rotate it downward so it looks at the target. And we are going to... Yeah, let's just add the game to here in front of the scene so that way it takes up the whole screen. Okay, cool. Does it follow? Yay, it does. Okay, cool. So we just needed follow. Yes, I would like to modify this slightly. How do I do that? Let me think. I'm trying to remember. That's weird. World space. All right, this is a little far too, so let's go from 10 to 5. That's a little bit better, I'd say. All right. Yeah, that functions. Let's put this a little bit Like, oh, you can't do that. Oh, right here. You have to do it down here. 2, -2. And change the angle slightly so that we should be about the center. So that way when we have like objects around it, we can be like, oh, hey, yeah, there's a thing there. Oh, right, I need to change this to 5. Get that about the center. We'll round it out to -1. Round that out to 75, because I like round numbers. It doesn't affect it at all. They are still floats. So it still uses float math, which I think is the same no matter what numbers you use. But yeah. And the lens here, what does that do? Oh, that just zooms in. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, no, we don't want that. We don't want that. Or do we want that? Hold on. What's that look like? That's curious. Do we want that? I'm going to say no. No, we don't. All right, we're going to set this to 100. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay. Now, we should add a couple obstacles to it, just so, like, you know, there's things around us that we have to move around. Yeah, let's just add, like, a couple random little cubes. Set their height to 0.5. Round these all out. Duplicate. 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 Okay, yeah, there we go. And, oh, yeah, no, we got to add a, let's select the player, add a rigid body. I don't think we're going to need to use gravity on this because it's just a flat plane. Like, we're not going to drop anywhere, so. We'll see what it looks like with gravity. Oh, oh, yep, nope. Okay. None, discrete. Yeah, I might need to turn off. Oh, wait, rotation. Rotation. Yep, 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 yep. Okay, yep, no, we need to add bindings. Okay, constraints. Freeze position. We're going to freeze the Y position. Let's see. Rotation, we're just going to freeze everything. Yeah. So that way we can't rotate at all. And we're moving. We're moving. Hit the object. Don't go through it. That is good. Now, we're going to have one issue here just because a lot of fire trucks and police going by. They're after me. But yeah. If I take one of these cubes and I move it really close to another one, let's see if this happens. Because, yeah, I don't have physics set up perfect, so maybe... Oh, nope, 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 we're not going through them. Okay. Never mind. Yeah, there are some, you know, little weird bit of bounciness there when I hit an object, but, you know, that's fine. This is a test project I am throwing together just to test if I want to stream game development. So, yeah. You know. file. Save all that. All right, now I need enemies. Oh. Yes. Okay, we're going to make an enemy. We're going to have the enemy just be a cylinder? Capsule? We have the cubes already. Those are going to be the cubes are going to be our environmental objects. We will have, yeah, we'll have capsules be the enemies. Just going to have our little beans. Let's see. Those are going to be 1 up, 0, 0, right over where the player is. I should have set this as a separate thing in case I wanted to replace the model, but again, I am throwing this out as soon as this stream is done. So, yeah, we're just going to rename that to enemy. That is our enemy. So the enemy is going to chase down the player. How are we going to have it do that? I think, do we have everything all here for a nav mesh surface? Yes, we do. Okay, cool. So we're just going to center that and make it invisible. Actually, let's go to the gizmos because I don't like having the camera there. So let's turn off the Cinemachine stuff. Is there one where I can just turn gizmos down? I just want to not have to see that. Is there camera? 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 Oh, well. You know what? Here, let's just hide the main camera. We hid the nav mesh surface. Don't hide the nav mesh surface. Bake the nav mesh surface. Look at that. We have a nav mesh. Okay. Oh, I did not want to move that. Here, let's rebake that. Oh, set that to 0 and bake it again. Okay, we've baked it. We have baked a nav mesh. We have a nav mesh. Beautiful. Now, this enemy character here. What do I want to do with him? Well, let's see. We need to add a nav mesh agent to him. Let's see. Basic humanoid. Movement speed of 3.5. Yep, that's fine. Let's see. Enemy AI. Add a new script. Enemy AI. Create and add. So the enemy is just going to, every frame, it's just going to get where the player is and move toward the player. And that's going to be it for them. So they're going to get a... Actually, you know what? I don't want to have... Let me think about this for a sec. So I don't want them to search and find the player every time one of them spawns, because that takes a couple milliseconds. I shouldn't care because, again, I am tossing this project. I might toss it on itch if it's fun enough, but there's only like half an hour into it, and I'd like to stream for 4 hours, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Either way, I should make this efficient-ish. You know what? Yeah. We're going to have a public, because we're going to be setting it later. Transform targets. And actually, we'll have that below. We'll have the serialized fields below public. Serialized field. Actually, no. Private. That is our agent. And then in awake, we're going to set the agent agent equals get component nav mesh agent. Basically, anything that has this on it is going to have a nav mesh agent on it. So we'll set a require component. Require component will, I forget if it will throw an error if this is attached to something that does not have it on it, or if it will just automatically add it on. I think it just automatically adds it on. Now, let's think. I do not know what Babo match is. You know what? Give me just 1 second. It's always nice to get inspiration for stuff, so... Babo Violent? Okay, back to what I was doing. Also, I have ADD-ish. Not really diagnosed, so shouldn't say too much on that. But yes, I get distracted easy. Okay, so every frame, agents.sesDestination and target.position. Okay, so, and I think I'm gonna, since we're not going to be setting this here. Actually, no, we are going to set it here, just for this test one. Save that. Okay, so we're just going to set the target to the player and have it chase me around. And I am going to run away. Oh, it's actually slightly faster than me. That's unpleasant. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Ah, it got me. It got me. It's pushing me. It's pushing me. It's pushing me! Okay. Cool, that works. Yay. Hooray. Okay, I'm going to create an enemy spawner. In order to do that, I need a prefab. So we're going to create a folder, one for our scripts, because these are all just kind of sitting out here. And create another folder for our materials, because I kind of have that ground mat just sitting there, and we need to make a mat for... There's going to be a material for environment objects, there's going to be a material for the player, and there's going to be a material for the enemies. Materials, there we go, and then create a folder for prefabs. Take our enemy, stick it in prefabs, and now we're going to create a new empty game object that we're going to call enemy spawner. Reset that to the center. And we're going to create a script on it called spawn enemies. Very good. Now, what this is going to do is it's just going to spawn a constant stream of baddies that are going to come after me. So I need serialized field, private, enemy AI. That will be our prefab. So you do not need to use a game object or a transform to store your prefab. You can get a specific script on that prefab so that you don't have to do a get component to get it when you want to spawn the thing. So, yeah. I think I need... Do I need the nav mesh? Because I don't want to spawn them in one specific location. I want to spawn them randomly throughout the map. So what I think I want to do is try and find a point on the nav mesh. Yeah. Yes, so I think I want a reference to the... I could just do a couple spawn points. I could have a couple locations and just have it cycle through them. Which would be better? You know what? You know what? We're just going to have a couple spawn points. A little more work. Not as much randomness, but you know what? It will be okay. Yeah, so we have those two. Our enemy prefab, our spawn points. What else do we need? What else is going to be necessary? Oh, a timer. We need a timer and a spawn rate. So the spawn rates... No, it's not going to be spawn rate. That's not what spawn rate means. Spawn rate would be like how many per second. What we want is seconds between spawn. Time between spawns. There we go. Okay, so we have our timer. Let's give that an initial value of 5, which we can reset whenever we want. So time between spawns. No. Plus equal to time delta time. And if timer... God damn it. Sometimes the AI autocomplete works really well and can show you solutions to stuff that you never thought of before. Other times it just throws you for a loop. If timer is greater than, it's never going to be equal to, so we don't have to include that. Time between spawns. Yeah. One of the fun little things of float math. Actually, you know what? No. We're not going to do it that way. We're going to do, if timer is less than time between spawns, we do nothing. Okay. Cool. If it is not nothing, then timer equals 0. Okay. So now we need to var new spawned enemy equals object dot instantiate enemy prefab. Their position is going to be a random spawn point. Yeah, see, that looks fine. Yeah. I can get rid of this object here, though. Yeah, I want to move that down. I have, like, this weird tunnel vision thing where I have trouble looking at, like, I hate, like, giant blocks of text. So to avoid that, I set my number of characters per line setting to, I think, 60 and 80. So, yeah, just so that everything stays, like, more compact. Like, I like this setup.